Vision Abuja. This is a program where we bring to you the economic implication of everything agriculture, coming from policies, implication of these policies, innovations, and the rest, as long as it is in connection to the country's GDP, how it contributes rather to the country's GDP. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. Today on Agric Economy, we shall take a look at price band as threshold for market sustainability. What does this mean? It's simple. It only means that to an extent there should be price control. Price band also can come in as price control, which is the ensuring that goods and services have a particular price. For example, saying a price band for rice, you can sell rice either from 20 naira down to 100 naira, but should not exceed the 100 naira benchmark given by the federal government. Today we shall be taking a look at this with an expert and seeing how possible this is as an advice to the federal government. Quickly, we'll give you a short clip or a report on how the price band should work or works. Stay tuned. Price band is a value setting method through which a seller indicates an upper and lower cost limit between which buyers are able to place bids. The price band's floor and cap provide guidance to buyers. This type of auction pricing techniques is often used by initial public offerings at the stock exchange. Price band analysis involves dividing a product's price range into different categories or bands based on the price of the product. This helps businesses to understand how their prices compare to those of their competitors. The companies and investment bankers determine the price band, keeping it below mentioned factors in mind, such as basic complete market trend, leadership and departmental setup of the private organization, quality of stocks being sold, and future growth capability of the company. Price band determination in the Nigerian Stock Exchange (NSE) entails daily minimum maximum price ranges applicable in the derivative segment. However, in order to prevent an erroneous order entry, operating ranges and daily maximum and minimum ranges are kept as below. For index future at 10% of the basis price. It is believed that this price band won't make the marketers run at a loss, neither will consumers or customers get a buy at exorbitant prices. This method, according to experts, is said to be helpful to upcoming nations in sustaining unstable economies. Welcome back. It's still Agric Economy. We'll be having a program and our guests to discuss price band as threshold for market sustainability. Our guest to discuss this topic this week is Mr. Gabriel Idakolo. He's going to be taking us down to what should be done in ensuring that there is a bit of price control in curbing the issues of hiking prices, unnecessary hiking prices of food items, as this is of course in relation to the country's GDP. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Before now, experts, stakeholders have clamored for price control, despite all of this fight, despite the call by stakeholders. The federal government has not been able to, activate or come up with this policy as we see in the oil sector. Now, still on a closer look to the same thing, we have price band. I know people will be wondering, it's not price control again, why price band? Price band in the sense that, yes, government do not have to totally come up to say that you must sell your goods for this price, but then they have this, a band, so to say, that we know that this pen, for example, is 30 naira plus your profits and production costs. So this pen should not cost more than 30 naira and can be less than 20 naira. Cannot be less than 20 naira, so to say. Can we impute this kind of analysis in ensuring that we're able to control to an extent prices of food items, looking at what is happening now in the market?
Yes, this issue of price control has been coming up for a while, and it has stemmed from the fact that the way Nigerians will take opportunity in every situation, and that is why you have seen every product is being attributed to the rise in the dollar, and even when the dollar started coming down, those products keeps going up, so it became a challenge. One thing that is very important that we must know is that there is a saying, there is an advert by one tire company that says that power is nothing without control. If there is no control about anything, then people will do whatever it is that they like, and they will go away with it. We have seen how price ban has been successful in other areas of marketing and market sales. We have seen it successful even in the petroleum sector, whereby there is a range to which you can sell these products. It must not exceed this in particular geopolitical zones, so that it will not be too much for the people that are going to patronize you. We have seen a situation whereby you can buy a particular product. We are in Abuja presently for 20 naira in a particular place within the Federal Capital Territory, and you go elsewhere and they sell it for 50 naira or 100 naira. These are the things that we need to look into to ensure, even in organized industrialized economies and other economies, that this kind of price ban is being practiced. It's a subtle measure to ensure that the producers or the sellers of these products are not excessively extorting the people that are purchasing these products. And if we do not do that, for example, we see a situation whereby for no just cause, a bag of rice will jump from a particular amount within days to another amount astronomically for no just cause. It's not as if the seedlings that have been used to produce those rice have just increased within days. It's not as if those products, even in their market stores, have just been brought or they have just been produced. So when you look at this situation, you see that it amounts to excessive profiteering by the people selling these products, and to the detriment of the masses, because it has not made the masses to be helpless. And that is why the people are looking up to the government to put a form of regulation in place, so that people will not take advantage of others because they have the opportunity to do so, because that is what is playing out in the market presently as regards food prices, and it's alarming. And most of them that do not even have connection with foreign currencies will attribute the increases to foreign currencies. And now that even the US dollar has started decreasing in value, their products keeps increasing. So you see that government needs to intervene one way or the other, or it will get to a point that there will be apathy and disconnect from the buyers and the seller. We know that food is an essential product that people must live on and be sustained on. But we have seen situations whereby people boycott some certain food products when they saw that the price is getting out of hand, and those people reasoned and they started reducing the price one way or the other. We've seen in the case of Indomie, for example, it got to a very high price, and when there was a market resentment and people stopped buying, or they started looking for preferences in alternatives, they started reducing the price. So I believe that the government needs to look for a way to put sanity in the agricultural sector as regards sales of agricultural produce, so that undue advantage is not taken. I don't want us to look at the situation of seasonal products and the seasonal cost of some products that can make the price to go up. For example, when tomatoes, for example, is not in season, it is expected that it will go up to a certain amount. It's understandable, it can be explained. Also, yam tubers, when they are not in season, they can also go up in price to a certain amount, which is expected. But you discover that these days, even when they come back in season, the price does not change. And that is the annoying aspect of it. When you buy, they will say, a 5 tubers of yam, for example, when it's off season is 7,000. When the new yam comes, they will sell it for the same amount because they do not want to lower the price. So it's getting out of hand, and government needs to look for a way or to be able to tweak these sentiments of the people, because it is the people that feel the brunt, that bear the brunt of this excessive unnecessary increases by these market people, to the extent that it affects their purses. And looking at the situation of Nigerians, looking at their purchasing power, these unwholesome practices makes the purchasing power to continuously reduce over time, because the government has not been able to do anything about it, and the people are having a free reign, which is not expected.
Presently, we see that due to the hike of the dollar rate, there have been so many speculations, analysis with experts and stakeholders that the dollar rise at that last month was the reason why we had hike in food items, hike in some some basic items and rest. And we know how Nigerians were complaining bitterly as regards this. And the federal government went, did what they did, and the dollar is coming back to normal. As of last week, we saw it fall down to 1,000 naira. Some minutes it was 900 before it rose back to 1,000 naira. Yet, items will have still remain at the same price. Do you not think that there is need for a serious look into the issue of price ban? Yes, we know that federal government may not be able to say that okay, you have farmed your rice, you have farmed your cassava, and then I'm going to tell you this is the amount you should pay for it, you should put on it, because only you know how much you spent. But looking at having other things in place, like being able to get fertilizers at lower price, being able to get improved seedlings at subsidized rate, and having farmers get access to grants and loans and the rest of it. If all of these are on ground, what's hindering government from?
Now, as we are discussing these issues, it comes to me that government has various options to be able to ameliorate this problem. The first option, which is what some state government have started doing, is to have a subsidized market. They subsidize the products that comes in there, while the government provide maybe 25% of the price. I do not want the government to stop at that. Both the state and federal government can move a niche forward to ensure that genuine pricing is implemented, even without subsidy, in some specified markets that is being monitored. In the sense that you go to those markets, most of the markets in Nigeria are built by either the federal government or the state government. So the state government or the federal government has a measure of authority of what goes on in various markets, not minding the fact that the products are bought by individuals. Why I say this is that if government establishes a market and there are conditions have been issued that those that are going to sell particular products in this market are going to follow the standards that is going to be set by either the state or the local government or the federal government in when we come to pricing, then we'll be able to have a little bit of control on what goes in there. Just like we see subsidized for markets in Lagos State and some other states being successful. How is it done? When you come to those markets, for example, the subsidized ones, you buy and you use a point of sale terminals to make payment. There are specific amounts of what you need to buy, and there are specific amounts of what they must sell to you in those markets. So that's why I say the government should not stop there. The government should go to enforcement in other markets that are being built by the government. All these things goes a long way. It can be solved by negotiation, and that is why we have market leaders. That's why we have head of market in various markets all over Nigeria. The government needs to engage them. If the government does not want to put a general price ban on products in the market, then we need to engage the market leaders to talk to their members to be able to look for a win-win solution that will not harm the buyers of their products unnecessarily. And that is where the government needs to come in. we need to talk to the market leaders to have a framework of what it entails to buy a particular product. What we want is that if you know that in Ojuwoye market, for example, rice cannot be sold for more than 55,000, then you will not go to anywhere in the world and buy rice that you know you cannot sell for 55,000 in Ojuwoye market. So the government needs to liaise, partner with the market leaders to be able to put a form of benchmark on the products that are being sold in all those markets all over the world. Now, that is the first aspect. The second aspect is the benchmark or control to be put on products that are on transit. Because we discovered that, for example, if you go to my 12 market, for example, most of the tomatoes, the onions are coming from the north. Now, there should be a collaboration between the my 12 market and the market that is in Kano, for example, and they should have an agreement. Any trailer that is bringing our products must abide by this agreement to pay so and so for transportation. So when that has been agreed, it will be factored and spread on the products that will be sold in my 12 market, for example. So we will have a form of price stability that people will not go over. So why I'm saying this is that it might be difficult, and we know that is why government is trying to full drag on placing a general price ban on products, agricultural products. But there are other ways of engaging stakeholders in this market to ensure that this can be nipped in the bud. We have seen with the behavior of people in the market presently that they are just excessively extorting the people and trying to make Christmas gain even when we are not in Christmas. And that is where the challenge is. So that is why government needs to come in to be able to set up a framework to engage the markets in all the states of the Federation to be able to come to a common ground on what and what needs to be done for price of agricultural products to be sustainable. Because we are talking about market sustainability. I don't want a situation whereby instead of the market being a partner to the government, will now be a clog in the wheel of government progress. Because if government says we want to alleviate poverty, we want to end food insecurity, we want to ensure there is availability, and you go to those markets and the price drives you away, then the government has not achieved anything.
Okay, so there is need for stakeholders and engagement in ensuring that this price band comes to fruition. This way, we'll be able to, ensure that there is a bit of price stability, especially now that Nigerians are crying of the hardship of the economy. Quickly, we'll take a break and return. The program continues. Stay tuned. For staying tuned. We're also talking on price band, and yes, it's been you can see how our guest has been talking to us. As we can see it, we're looking at it as one of the thresholds to market sustainability. How can these price band help in contributing to the nation's GDP with all of everything? Like I said, we've seen, we all know that when you go to the market today, you're buying rice for 1,000 naira. But just an example anyway, don't put 1,000 naira in the market. By the time you're going tomorrow, you're buying for 1,500 naira. Does this hike translate to contribution to the GDP? Because I keep wondering, okay, if we're paying this much, does this money is there any percentage going to the nation's first?
The truth is that it does not in any way contribute to the GDP. In fact, it's going to affect drastically the purchasing power of the people. If, for example, I have the capacity to buy a bag of rice for 55,000, for example, and you now tell me the bag is 75,000, my capacity has reduced because I will not be able to buy one full bag. I might opt for half bag. And so the seller of that product has not been able to efficiently sell one full bag for a customer. And that consideration continues for so many customers. So at the end of the day, that seller of the product or the seller of the rice, for example, that probably used to sell 100 bags in a week might end up selling 50 bags in a week. And when the economy of scales as regards sales of those products is not increasing, yet is decreasing as per time, then it cannot contribute significantly to the GDP, because it is continuous increase in economic activities that affects the GDP positively. So that is why consistent increase in price of food products, for example, because that's our focus, will definitely affect the economy in many ways than one. It's going to affect the economy in the area of consumer appreciation, because customers are going to reduce what they are buying. It's also going to affect the sellers of these products, because they will not frequently go back to restock as they used to. And it's also going to affect the producers of these products, because the products will not be sold as they will have wished, so that more production can come, so that more expansion can come in the businesses, and so that they can employ and also improve on their remuneration to their employers. So instead, when these situations persist and the buyers cannot quickly go back to reorder, and the production company producing rice or producing whatever is not seeing as much business as it expects, it can lead to downturn in business. It can lead to unemployment and disengagement of workers, and those who also come to the pool of the unemployed in Nigeria, which is not the intention of the government. And that is why constant increase in food prices cannot help the economy to grow. Instead, it's going to affect it.
We see on social media during the Easter break where Nigerians in a funny manner just come out in cartoons and say, you see like the cartoon is being drawn, if I know fit chop rice, make I drink garri. And then the other person replied, when you want to see garri don't nearly reach 1,000. It's funny to some extent, but then Yoruba people will say Oroburuku Tondere. It's funny, but then people are hungry. What do you think? What's your word for manufacturers, producers, and these sellers in the market?
Some few years back, or probably 15-20 years back, garri, cassava flakes, for example, is seen as the last option for the poor man.
Yes.
So they will say, even if I cannot eat rice, I will go and take garri. But that axiom has changed over time, because even the garri itself, the cassava flakes, is competing with the rice, in the sense that you will now have the opportunity to do your big man, either to take rice or to take garri. It's because the price disparity is not much. So it has gotten to that level, and we need to go back to the traditional level, because I know the people that are in government today were once young people. They were once people that have experienced these axioms of how cheap cassava flakes were then, and how affordable that people can rely on it and fall back on it when they cannot eat rice. We know rice, even in those days, used to be ceremonial, not talking about how it is presently. So they know how far we have come as a country, and the attachment we have to various food products. And that is the sentiment that I want the government to look at these food products, so that it will not get out of hand to the extent that we'll now be using it as a proverb that once upon a time this was this and it has now gotten to this. When it gets to that level, it shows the level of competence of our government as well, to be able to put our traditional foods in perspective. Because if those traditional foods are not in perspective, that means people will not be able to embrace them. And if they don't embrace them, that means we have there has been a constant shift from positions over the time. And when the government that is in power, when a mudu of Gari, for example, gets to 2,000, will not be forgotten. That is how the world runs. So that is why I see this new administration try as much as possible to look at the causative factors that will make cassava that is locally produced, locally blended, locally grown, without any foreign input, can be rising astronomically and be competing with products that are coming from foreign land. It's unheard of.
Thank you for coming on the program, sir.
Thank you.
We hope that the federal government, while watching this, is able to take one or two more, and then deliberations be taken and see how, if not this particular price band, something can be done as regards this price control and the price hike that is always in the market. On this note, to wrap it up on the program for this week. Thank you for joining us. Join us again, same time, same station next week. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. Saying bye.